Okay, guys, if you demand random, you come to the right place. Got a bunch of miscellaneous, true miscellaneous here, but most of it is old candy items. So let's get in here and see what this stuff is. The first one was over a decade in the making. This was something I bought literally over 10 years ago. But the seller could not find it, and so but we both knew it was there somewhere, so it finally showed up. So let's take a look at this first. This is going to be a print ad from an old comic book. It's a British comic book, but it had a very special ad in it. And here it is. This is the ad for Fu Manchu bubblegum. This was made by Trebor out of England. I've never been able to find one of these packs or even seen the wrapper. The wrapper is still... now there's a mock-up of the wrapper actually on this ad. I'll move this here. We'll look at that real quick. But yeah, so I collect, or one of my subcategories is like racial, ethnic advertising. But my specialty in that little genre is Chinese stuff. So here we have a Chinese mascot, stereotypical yellow skin, has the coolie on it, which has an F, not for Fel, but for Fu Manchu bubblegum. Has the buck teeth, has the crazy hair. So it's very racial, right? Very, you might even call it racist. But back when we were kids, this was pretty normal to see stuff like this. And we know nowadays that that's just not right. For one thing, I don't know about you, but I don't remember many Asian kids growing up. I believe every school I ever went to maybe had one or two. But now with the internet, it's not so exotic to see someone from Asia at all. But this is really nice. I'm not going to sit here and read this. But apparently this is what the pack of gum looks like, if you could ever find it. Actually, it might be candy. It says choose. I'm not sure what this is, honestly. Maybe it's candy. But thank you to the seller for not giving up and picking that up. I got his decal, logo decal. That's really cool. I reckon that's an owl. Is that an owl up there with a crown? So that's really cool. So thank you. Finally, I got this. I can write that off my list of Chinese stuff to find. I mean, I haven't given up finding one of the wrappers, but just how things come out of the UK. I'm going to go ahead and open this next one while I'm talking. Okay, well, this one is coming from GPK and Wacky Warehouse. If you've ever bought any Garbage Pail Kids on eBay, you might have run into GPK and Wacky Warehouse. He had an item listed, but it was mislisted as original, and it turns out it was a print. So I did get basically ripped off here. This item is not worth what I paid, but this guy is a friend of mine. I've known him really since I've been in the hobby. Actually, he's actually one of the first people I met when I got into Garbage Pail Kids. When I started buying Garbage Pail Kids, let me say that. I was scouting Garbage Pail Kids for a couple years before I started buying them because I already had some from when I was a kid. I had the ones from my childhood, and I was just kind of dabbling with them. But when I started finally buying them, that was around 07. It might have been late 06, early 07, something like that. That's when I met this guy. Here it is. It's still a good conversation piece, but this is not original, unfortunately. It's just a print. It's literally a postcard. God, to be honest, I didn't even know it was a postcard. I thought maybe it was literally still a print. I mean, I guess it is a print. Anyway, this is by John Pound. He's the original designer, or yeah, let's say that. Original designer of Garbage Pail Kids. All your favorite Garbage Pail Kids probably came from him. More than likely. You know, like Adam Bomb and Nasty Nick and those characters. He was the guy that drew that originally and painted it. And so he had a website up since the 90s, still has it up, where you can buy some of his art. And so this must be something he threw in for free. Notice it has mascots of bubblegum and stuff. So Altoids, Mentos, Tic Tacs, and Wrigley's Chewing Gum, Double Mint. So pretty cool, but that was totally misrepresented. Completely misrepresented. This was listed as an original piece of art. Like completely original piece of art. And this thing is a postcard. So I don't know. Maybe we do have a problem here. I don't know. I mean, this is a fucking postcard. You're going to charge someone $25 for this? You sent me another postcard of yours. People make mistakes, you know. But then it leads me to making a mistake. Leads other people to make a mistake. You know, you want to assume people have goodwill and all this stuff, but shit like that happens, and you start questioning things, right? Next thing is a pretty nice item. It's from the 90s. It's kind of from that blind spot that I talk about occasionally, which I would range around 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002. 2003 even, of this, where candy just sort of, you don't see a lot of it on the market. Anyway, I found one person who had this. I was pretty excited about it. This isn't something I'm going to run through the streets parading around, but, and I might have even already had this variant, but this is going to be an Albert's garbage trolley. Very collectible. They made these multiple years. You know, now that I look at it, this is not from the late 90s either. I think this was misrepresented as well. This is the cello one that they started wrapping with cellophane. These originally did not have cellophane on them, I don't think. And certainly some of this style of writing looks later to me. I bet you there's a date on here, and I bet you it doesn't say the 1990s on it. Yeah, this is going to be also a misrepresented item. I'm still very happy to have it. I didn't pay nothing for it, so no problem there. But still, so I guess today is about misrepresented items. Okay, got one more item here. I think it's going to be candy as well, I'm hoping. I told you it's going to be pretty random today. Let's go ahead and get you in there. Before we open this, let me show you a couple things I found out in the wild recently. So this has popped up recently. This is a Atomic Fizz Warheads candy. It comes in a novelty can, like a Coke can or whatever. I don't think this is going to be a play on energy drinks. I wish it was though. But still, great looking package. Of course, since this is the modern era, it's way too big. Way too big. You know, had this been made in the 80s, this thing would have been this big, and it would have been just as good. But unfortunately, it's this really large size. It's a little annoying, but the fact that it's black is really nice. The fact that it's a novelty in an era where we hardly can get novelties, that's great. And there's something kind of warm, I guess, about seeing Warheads, even though we see it constantly. It's got an extra little bomb going off here. That's really nice. It's got a lot going for it. It's just, unfortunately, it's just too big. Look at that. It's almost the size of an actual Coke can. And you gotta just think, I've got to store this for the rest of my life. And that's kind of annoying after a time. I mean, compared to the Alberts, I mean, let me show you what I'm talking about. And even this was a little bit big because, you know, the Topps garbage candy, I do not have any next to me, are this tall. And we're just seeing this oversized, bloated, gluttonous increase of volume size. But yet, when I open this, I'm not going to open this, but if I did open this, I guarantee you those little pieces of candy, and it shows you what comes in there. And by the way, I do think those are new designs of Warheads, so that is cool. But if I were to open this, you and I both know that they do not go to the top of this can inside. I guarantee you, you could take these same contents, whatever's in here. I don't think we can see in there. Nope. I bet we could pretty much, maybe even stack it into a container this big, honestly, if we put them one on one. I don't know if it says how many's in there. Well, it says the ounces, so you could easily look up the ounces of one Warhead pack, single unit, and I guarantee you could stack them in a can this big. I'm bitching, but this is something I deal with constantly. I mean, this is the state of novelty candy. Honestly, it's been the state of novelty candy since the mid-90s. It's just increase of size, and it's taken away from the novelty. Why does this have to be 4.5 inches or whatever? I mean, Paul's, that's what she said, but really, we didn't grow up with things this large. Because listen, we went to the gas stations, you and I. We were on our bikes, right? Or after school, and we would stick things like this in our pocket. But imagine buying this at the gas station back in the mid-'80s when we were doing this stuff and having to stick this somewhere. Okay. And then I also found this. We got one more thing, guys, but I just want to fit this in real quick. So I found this. This is by a company I've been bragging a lot about, Amos. They make the most incredible candy. They're called Peelers. Now, if you do not see the Peelers branding on the Amos package, it's not gonna. I can't back it up for you. But if you do see Peelers on it, those are delicious. And I believe they make them in, I think, 10 varieties at this point. Now, this is going to be from their 40 line. And I had not seen this before, so this is new. It apparently almost is dipping their toes into candy novelty. And they've made a sushi tray. And I've seen a couple other things from this brand, too. They seem to be going more this direction. More like kid food. Like true, you know, advertising to kids. But this is super cute. I really love this piece. This is a gummy. All these are. This one even has caviar on it. I don't think I've ever seen a candy novelty caviar. So that is absolutely brilliant. And I'm really proud of these guys. And we need to definitely send a warning to the company out of Miami. What's their face? Maybe I'll think of it. Yeah, they have a new competitor. Okay, so last one here. I don't even know what this is. We'll find out together. So yeah, it's just been a random purchases, really small purchases, to be honest. Oh yeah, oh guys, okay, wait. Okay, this is nice. This is actually the best thing in here. Okay, so this is from Japan. This is from the 1960s. We are going to have to confirm it. Maybe we can right now. If it's not from the 60s, it's from the 70s. These are extremely hard to find because one thing, we're in America, or I am. Anyway, let me pull this out. Yeah, this is an old one. Even though I've never handled this before, I can tell you immediately just from smelling it. But this logo, this Fujiya logo, is the old one. This is a Japanese novelty purse from the legendary chocolate company Fujiya. Now, I know Fujiya. I'm going to open this for you because in the listing it was open. Now, Fujiya, how I know them is because they produce monochromatic minifigures, to which I have them all. It took me years to find them all. But they dip their toes in novelties. They did it here with this toy. Let's go ahead and get this open. Now, you might recognize the Milky sub-brand. The Milky brand is still around. I don't think it's by Fujiya. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this. This is a purse, by the way. They call this, it's for girls. All right, little Japanese girls. I'm going to go ahead and open this. It was opened already. And actually, let me get something to... Let me pry this open. Remember our little technique here. You go into the flap here, pull out, slide up. Just go for one, don't go for both. And then you can either kind of wiggle up and out, but the key is just to make sure you don't rip the final tab. There's a lot going on here that we haven't even looked at. So, yeah, this was not shown in the listing. So that's really cool. This might be the first time anyone's ever touched this in 50 years. But this is the toy. Now, this is one reason I love Fujiya. They're one of the originators of the candy toy combo. Yeah, this has never been touched. I'm getting my greasy American fingers on it. Okay, let's look at the candy. That was shown, so I know that's been open. And we're going to pull a date. Let's save the date for the end. There might not even be a date on this thing. This is very kind of fragile. It's on a cardboard hinge. Definitely don't want to damage this. One reason I was really excited about this is when you see these on eBay, they're usually $200 or more. The Japanese collectors really try to overcharge American collectors, especially when they're in our market. And something from the 60s, I'm pretty sure that's what this is going to be, from Japan is impossible to find. Notice her eyes blink. These are on a 3D, little piece of plastic there. Yeah, I don't know how to open this. Okay, it's going to be this. This is a little awkward. God, I don't even want to fuck with this, to be honest. Okay, maybe... Okay. This is the only way in. Yeah, I mean, I could break in the back. Okay. Hold on, I'm going to break in this way. Don't try this at home. Damn, I need my fucking, my little palette knife. I can still use this, I guess. Yeah, that's what she did, the lister. Yeah, that's much easier. Trying to concentrate here. Okay. Yeah, the candy was intriguing. She did post that. Here it is. It has some great age on it. Now, the cello does look new through the phone, but I can tell you it's yellowed. Cannot read what that says, though. They are definitely generic. But there's a little bit on it. Let's see, a little bit of... Oh, it says Milky. That's unfortunate. I wish it said Fujiya. It has some sort of maybe a carp or something on it. Anyway, back to this real quick. So let's see if we can date this finally. I mean, this is 60s looking, right? And they definitely date to the 60s. I can't help but notice it says 91.3 on it. So maybe this is from the early 90s. Yeah, maybe it is from the 90s. But these were made back in the 60s. They've been making them a while. So anyway, very cool. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. But very cool. So that was a nice little surprise. So let me wrap this up here. So we opened a very random ass mailbag. Got something in that I bought over a decade ago. It finally came in. The seller finally found it. He's like me. He has an archive and large, I'm sure, flat files of things. And that's exactly where that'll go, along with this. So this was misrepresented as an original work of art. Turns out to be a lousy postcard. So I got ripped off there by these people. Showed you some stuff I got at the Dollar Tree. I got what I thought was a 90s garbage trolley. That's when these were made originally. Turns out to be a newer cello one. Still think there's a little bit of age on it, maybe a decade or so, 15 years maybe. And then finally something went right, and we pulled this, which is a Japanese Fujiya novelty purse, targeted for girls. Came with its original foam toy that you put together. These are plastic parts. It makes a little buggy car with a surfboard. And it came with its original candy, completely sealed in cello. Turns out that this is likely from 1991 instead of the early ones from the 60s. And now that now that I've been sitting with this, you can pretty much tell. Yeah, of course, this is probably from the early 90s. All right, guys. Well, hope you enjoyed that. Still pretty good day. Still pretty good day. All right. Well, guys, I'll see you around. Oh, if you didn't see, here, let me show this real quick. 1 second. Yeah, Finland finally came in. The world's most expensive cheap toy. So that was really a nice score. I just been photographing all the sunshines. She's gonna fall. Boop, yep. But yeah, so very cool that finally came. So thanks for those that didn't bid against me that week. It was very stressful, but thankfully I got her home. All right. Well, guys, I'll see you around, okay? Got some more shit coming in. I just don't know ever when it's going to get here. And I'll see you guys around. And Russ Fan out.